You Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy. Right?
Wait, so this is...
So Charlamagne said...
It's not true, but I told after he brought up this stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh, no, I don't know that was going on.
You know,
I can't wait to run into him again.
What you gonna say to him?
Off he was playing with you in Miami.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have...
It involves a leaked video, yes, you heard that right, and it features 50 Cent, Kevin Hart, and Diddy.
Wow. Okay. Leaked video, big names. That always gets people talking.
Exactly. The internet has just officially lost its mind over this one.
I bet. It's that kind of story, isn't it?
Okay.
That glimpse behind the celebrity curtain. It just sparks such intense fascination. And scrutiny, of course.
Totally. So the whole thing basically kicked off when 50 Cent, and he loves a bit of drama.
Doesn't shy away.
Not at all. He decided to just drop this video out there, online, into the wild.
Okay, so he's the instigator here.
Looks like it. And it's not just the content of the video itself that's causing waves, it's the ripple effect.
Right, the fallout.
Yeah, specifically how Kevin Hart and Diddy are, reacting to this private moment suddenly being very, very public.
That's always the tricky part. We're seeing a real-time test then of celebrity friendships under some pretty intense pressure.
Huge pressure.
And it just highlights that tightrope, doesn't it? The one public figures walk when their private lives smash into the digital world.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's dig into the nitty-gritty a bit. This video, from what people are saying, it seems to show Kevin and Diddy just hanging out, pretty casual setting.
Right. Normal stuff, maybe?
Exactly. But some of the things said in what they clearly thought was, a private chat have now gone completely viral, all thanks to 50 Cent pushing it out there.
So what's the bigger deal here than maybe just some off-the-cuff remarks? Is it what was said, or just the fact it got out?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? It could be both. But it definitely touches on that fundamental tension, right? Between wanting privacy and the public just being relentlessly interested.
Absolutely. And in today's world, anything recorded, anything at all, it has the potential to become public knowledge.
Scary thought.
And that risk is amplified massively for people constantly in the spotlight.
And Kevin Hart's response has been, well, interesting to watch unfold.
Oh yeah, how so?
Initially, there was some chatter, about him maybe trying to clap back in the comment section online.
Oof, risky move.
Which, let's be honest, that almost never ends well, does it?
Rarely. Very rarely.
But then he seemed to shift gears pretty quickly. He put out this formal statement taking full responsibility.
Huh. Okay. That pivot then to taking responsibility. It kind of suggests he or his team understands how these things play out online, right?
You think so?
Yeah. Acknowledging the misstep, even if the full context isn't totally clear or even if he feels wronged, it can often be a way to try and de-escalate things. Control the narrative a bit.
Right, try and get ahead of it. He even mentioned that he needs to be more careful about what he says, even in private.
Wow.
That's a pretty clear sign of the fallout, isn't it? A direct acknowledgement.
Definitely sounds like it. Now, what about Diddy? You mentioned him too. How's his camp reacting?
Well, they seem to be taking a bit of a different approach. Publicly, at least.
Okay.
They're really pushing this narrative that, his bond with Kevin is rock solid, unshakable, and that this whole video thing is just being blown way, way out of proportion.
The nothing to see here strategy.
Pretty much. Is that a standard playbook in damage control?
Oh, absolutely. Emphasizing the strength of the relationship, downplaying how significant the leaked stuff actually is. It's a very common crisis management strategy.
Right.
The goal is basically to reassure the public, make everyone feel like, okay, everything's still fine behind the scenes. It's not as dramatic as it looks.
But, you can't ignore the smoke signals, can you? There are these reports floating around that Kevin has been, canceling appearances.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and gone totally radio silent online, just disappeared.
That doesn't exactly scream. Friendship is solid, nothing to worry about.
Not really. What does that kind of withdrawal usually tell us in these high-profile situations when someone just vanishes?
Well, withdrawal like that often indicates just the immense pressure they're under.
Makes sense.
When a private moment, something you thought was safe, suddenly becomes this huge public spectacle, the sort of natural instinct for many is to just step back, pull away.
Right out the storm.
Exactly. Reassess, try to figure out the best move, and just hope the attention dies down.
And the fact that there hasn't been any like direct public communication between Kevin and Diddy about this, that definitely hints at some underlying tension, right?
Well, it certainly suggests things aren't entirely smooth sailing, despite the official statements. That lack of direct interaction speaks volumes, often.
Yeah. It really makes you wonder what exactly was said in that video. There are whispers, online speculation suggesting the remarks were maybe less than flattering about someone.
That would explain the strong reactions and the attempts to manage it.
And of course, through all this, 50 Cent is just like loving every second.
Oh, I bet.
Stirring the pot, keeping the drama bubbling away online. How much power do these kinds of social media personalities actually have in shaping how the public sees these events?
A significant amount, honestly. Figures like 50 Cent, they really mastered using social media to amplify certain narratives, haven't they?
Seems like it.
His actions here, deliberately releasing it, commenting on it, it just underscores the huge influence these individuals can wield. They can really shape public opinion and drive those online conversations.
It feels like this whole video situation has also kind of opened the floodgates, to some older rumors, things surrounding Diddy.
The past coming back. Happens all the time.
Yeah, I remember hearing something a while back, I think a Charlemagne Thai God even addressed it at the time, about speculation around Diddy's interactions within the industry. How do these past whispers kind of factor into what's happening now?
Well, these kinds of, let's call them controversies, they often resurface when someone is back in the news, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Especially for something negative. The internet has a very, very long memory. And past rumors, past allegations, they can easily get dragged back into the conversation, particularly if they seem to sort of align with a current narrative or perception.
Right. And wasn't there also that whole thing with Meek Mill a while ago?
Vaguely remember something.
With the sort of similar style of dressing, and those alleged internet searches people were talking about, that raised a few eyebrows back then too.
Yeah, I recall that now. That situation with Meek Mill involving how people interpreted his personal choices, his online activity, and connecting it to Diddy, it just illustrates how intensely public figures are scrutinized.
Totally, under a microscope.
Exactly. Even seemingly minor details, things that might mean nothing, can be interpreted through a very specific lens in the celebrity world, especially when there are these pre-existing narratives or rumors already out there.
It's just incredible how quickly things can escalate, isn't it? 1 minute, it's supposedly a private conversation. Yeah. The next, it's this full-blown internet sensation putting massive pressure on friendships, reputations, everything.
The speed is dizzying.
Yeah. Even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson seemed to sort of weigh in indirectly.
Oh, really? The Rock?
Yeah, he posted something about like real friends having each other's backs or something along those lines.
Okay.
And a lot of people immediately took that as a subtle show of support for Kevin Hart.
Interesting. A bit cryptic, but yeah, you could see how people would read it that way.
So what does it mean when other big celebrities start publicly commenting or even just pointedly staying silent in situations like this?
Well, when other prominent figures offer public support, even subtly, or maybe choose very obviously not to say anything, it just becomes another layer of the whole unfolding narrative, doesn't it?
Another piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Dwayne Johnson's comment, for instance, assuming people interpret it as support for Hart, it can be seen as this subtle commentary that adds to the overall public perception of who's right, who's wrong, who has support.
Okay, so just to kind of bring it all together then, we've got this leaked video, right? Caused a major stir.
Huge stir.
We have Kevin Hart, apparently in damage control mode, taking responsibility.
Trying to manage it.
Then you've got Diddy, or his team, trying to project this image of everything's fine, friendship's solid.
The counter narrative.
And 50 Cent just gleefully fanning the flames from the sidelines.
Yep. Adding fuel.
Plus, we're seeing these older rumors about Diddy resurfacing in the conversation.
The past catching up.
And even other big names, like The Rock, getting pulled into the orbit of this whole drama, intentionally or not.
Right, it ripples outwards.
And the big unanswered question, really, is still the real status of Kevin and Diddy's friendship behind all these carefully crafted public statements and the online noise.
Exactly. Those carefully managed images, the brands celebrities build, they're often really challenged when these private moments become public knowledge.
Yeah.
The strain on Hart and Diddy's relationship, it feels kind of evident, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even without them explicitly saying, we're fighting. the actions, the silence,
Totally. Actions speak louder than PR statements sometimes.
and the way these past controversies resurface just highlights how interconnected all these public narratives can become. One spark can reignite old fires.
This whole situation really makes you think, doesn't it, about what this social media age has actually done to the idea of celebrity privacy.
Oh, fundamentally changed it.
How a single leaked video, maybe just a few seconds long, can have such a massive, potentially damaging impact on careers, reputations, relationships.
It's immense.
It's just such a stark reminder of the intense pressure these public figures live under every single day, that constant risk.
Absolutely. This situation, it really forces you to consider the very, notion of privacy for people in the public eye in this digital age. Is it even possible anymore?
Good question.
The speed at which information spreads, true, false, context, no context, and the complete lack of control they have over how it's spread, it can have really significant lasting consequences, regardless of what the original intent or context even was.
So as this drama continues to play out, and you know it probably will for a bit longer,
Oh, these things tend to linger.
it's definitely worth pondering, isn't it? The immense power of this digital world we live in, how it's completely rewritten the rules for fame and public perception.
Completely.
It's no longer just about what celebrities do, on the red carpet or in their movies. Now, even their most private, off-guard moments can become global news overnight.
And the fallout is instant.
And what that ultimately means for how we see these individuals, how we understand them. I think that's something we're all still trying to figure out, honestly. And maybe what does it say about us? The audience, our kind of insatiable appetite for this peek behind the curtain. That's the question I'm sort of left with.
That's a deep one. The demand definitely fuels the supply, doesn't it? Something to think about, for sure.